Go Planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Something about Captain Planet was far stranger than we realized as kids. We saw the glowing rings and heroic moments, but the show hid bold messages, dark twists, and secrets no other cartoon dared to try. Some episodes tackled topics way too serious for young viewers, while others used ideas adults still debate today. Even the voices behind the villains weren't who we thought. But nothing prepares you for the first secret a story kids watched without understanding. Fact 1. The HIV episode kids never understood.
Nothing to say. It's all over.
Not the way I hear it.
Coach, I've got AIDS.
Most kids had no idea how brave this cartoon was when it tackled something almost no other children's show would touch. In this episode, a well-liked teen basketball player quietly reveals he is living with a serious illness, and the town reacts with fear, rumors, and panic. Adults watching today recognize it instantly, but children saw only the surface drama. The writers built the story around kindness, stigma, and how fast false information spreads, using the Planeteers to show how communities can heal instead of divide. A guest cast that included famous voices made the message even stronger, yet most young viewers completely missed how groundbreaking this moment really was. And believe me, the next dark turn in the series surprises even longtime fans. Fact 2. The drug story that turned dark fast.
Not so fast. This will cost you.
This episode looked like a simple don't do drugs message, until it suddenly became one of the most shocking moments in a kid's cartoon. The city was being flooded with a street drug that made people act wild, and Linka's cousin Boris fell deeper into it every scene. Kids watching never noticed the fear in Linka's voice, or how the show slowly built the danger around him. Then came the moment no one expected. Boris, confused and desperate, made a terrible choice that changed the tone instantly. It was a powerful warning, far heavier than anything else airing during that time slot, and most children didn't fully understand what they had witnessed. And honestly, the next strange lesson the show delivered was even bolder. Fact 3. The overpopulation warning no one expected. This story started with the Planeteers discovering a tiny civilization of talking mice, and kids thought they were in for a cute adventure. But as the episode unfolded, the mice revealed that their homes were falling apart because there were simply too many of them and not enough food or space. The show used the shrinking world of these mice to mirror a real problem humans face, and the message grew more serious with every scene. The final Planeteer alert openly talked about overpopulation and responsible family planning, something rarely mentioned in children's media. Kids missed how direct and unusual that message was, but adults now see how bold the creators were. And trust me, the next strange idea they explored pushed boundaries even more. Fact 4. The villain who got stronger from pollution. Kids saw Captain Pollution as a fun, twisted version of Captain Planet, but the idea behind him was far stranger than it first seemed. Instead of being hurt by toxic waste, he absorbed it like fuel. Sludge, smog, smoke, and chemicals didn't weaken him, they powered him up. Clean air and sunlight made him dizzy, and fresh water drained his strength instantly. The show created him as the perfect mirror to Captain Planet, using humor and action to show what happens when power comes from damaging the Earth instead of protecting it. Many young viewers never noticed how cleverly the writers flipped the usual hero-villain rules to make their point. And still, the next secret about the team's powers is even more surprising. Fact 5. The heart power was anything but weak. Every kid teased Monty for having the boring ring, but the truth behind his power was far bigger than most viewers realized. Heart didn't just let him talk to animals, it connected him to the emotions, instincts, and intentions of people and living creatures around him. He could sense danger before anyone else, calm a crowd, resist mind tricks, and even reach Captain Planet when the hero was hurt or trapped. The show often used his ability quietly, letting the story move forward without calling attention to how important it was. But when you rewatch the series today, you notice that many victories were only possible because Mati felt something the others missed. And the next hidden power in this show takes things even further. Fact 6. Mati could feel Captain Planet's pain. Most kids watching in the early 90s never caught how deeply connected Mati was to Captain Planet. A few episodes showed something unusual. Whenever the hero was hurt by pollution, Mati reacted like he felt the pain himself. It wasn't loud or dramatic, just a quick moment where he grabbed his chest or gasped before anyone else noticed danger. The The show hinted that the heart ring didn't just communicate emotions, it linked Mati directly to the hero they summoned. That meant Captain Planet wasn't some separate being, but partly an extension of their combined powers, shaped most strongly by Mati's spirit. This hidden bond quietly appeared throughout the series, and kids rarely noticed it on first viewing. And the next secret about Gaia's storyline is even stranger. Fact: 7 Gaia's timeline never really made sense.
Is this pollution?
It's the most insidious kind of pollution.
Children accepted Gaia as the spirit of Earth without thinking too hard about her backstory, but adults rewatching today noticed something odd. Gaia once claimed she slept through the entire 20th century and woke up to a world in trouble. But later episodes show her guiding humans in past decades, including scenes from the 1920s. These moments create a strange loop where Gaia is both absent and present during the same period. The writers never explained the contradiction, and most kids didn't care enough to question it. To them, Gaia was a wise guide appearing exactly when the heroes needed her, but grown-up viewers see the timeline gaps and wonder how the show expected this to fit together. And the next fact shows politics changing a character completely. Fact 8: Linka's home country changed overnight.
Boris! Oh, Boris! I was afraid that you were in that blissed out mob.
When the show first aired, Linka proudly said she was from the Soviet Union, which made perfect sense for a cartoon created during the final years of the Cold War. But when the Soviet Union collapsed in real life, the show quietly adjusted her origin. Suddenly she was from Eastern Europe, a broad description that let the writers avoid taking sides or explaining new borders. Kids didn't notice the shift, but adults watching today catch the sudden change and the reason behind it. Her accent, background, and personality stayed the same, but the geopolitical label disappeared as if nothing had happened. It was a clever fix for a children's show trying to stay current without confusing viewers. And the next fact takes this identity twist even further. Fact 9: Captain Planet was really an extension of Mati's power.
But as long as those around her do, she's in a world of trouble.
Then we will get her out of it.
Most young viewers believed Captain Planet was simply a superhero the Planeteers summoned, but the truth goes deeper. When all 5 rings combined, the final spark of activation always came from heart. That meant the hero they created wasn't just a force of nature, he carried a piece of Mati's spirit inside him. Some episodes showed Captain Planet speaking or reacting in a way that matched Mati's emotions, hinting at their hidden link. It explains why the bond between them felt stronger than with the others, and why Mati sensed danger before anyone else. Kids saw only a cool transformation, but adults now notice how intentional this connection really was. And if that surprises you, the next weakness this hero had was even more unusual. Fact 10: pollution worked like kryptonite for Captain Planet.
Hey, wait a sec. I feel funny. Oh. No, I polluted myself.
Kids understood that Captain Planet didn't like pollution, but the way it harmed him was stranger than most people remember. Toxic waste didn't just weaken him, it burned his skin, clouded his mind, and could knock him out cold if the dose was strong enough. Smog, chemicals, or even smoke from factories acted like a poison that drained his power instantly. The hero often had to retreat back into the earth to heal, which made battles risky whenever villains attacked with machines or sludge. The idea flipped superhero rules by giving him a weakness made from the very problems the show warned children about. It was smart, visual, and easy to understand. But the next reveal about the show's celebrity guests takes things to a whole new level. Fact 11: the villains were voiced by huge celebrities.
I mean, the message in Captain Planet is the power is yours. Every single child, every single person has an opportunity to impact the world that we live on.
Most kids never realized how many famous actors were hiding behind the show's villains. Dr. Blight's sharp voice came from Meg Ryan, long before she became a huge movie star. Verminous Scum's creepy tone belonged to Jeff Goldblum, who later became iconic for dinosaur movies and chaotic science speeches. Even Sting, one of the biggest musicians of the era, stepped in to voice Zarm, a villain who tried to tempt the Planeteers away from Gaia's message. At the time, children didn't recognize any of these voices, but adults today look back and realize how surprising this casting really was. The show quietly brought Hollywood into Saturday mornings without making a big deal out of it. And the next voice change in the series was just as unexpected. Fact 12: Gaia's voice switched from Whoopi Goldberg to Lois Lane.
I won't like the answer, Planeteers. To the crystal chamber and hurry.
Most young viewers never noticed that Gaia's voice changed halfway through the series. For the first 3 seasons, she was played by Whoopi Goldberg, whose calm tone gave the Earth spirit a wise, comforting presence. Then the role suddenly shifted to Margot Kidder, the actress famous for playing Lois Lane in the original Superman films. The switch happened without any in-story explanation, and most kids didn't even question it. But adults rewatching today instantly hear the difference and wonder why such a major character quietly changed voices. It's rare for a children's cartoon to swap such iconic actors mid-series, especially two as well known as these. And the next casting twist involves someone even more surprising. Fact 13, Tom Cruise secretly recorded as Captain Planet.
And if you've got a drug problem, get help. You can choose not to take drugs. The power is yours.
This is one of the wildest behind-the-scenes stories. Before the show ever aired, producers cast Tom Cruise, the biggest action star of the early 90s, as the voice of Captain Planet. He actually recorded early sessions and worked on shaping the hero's tone, but the recordings were never used, and the role eventually went to David Coburn, whose voice became the one fans remember. Most kids never knew a Hollywood superstar came close to playing their favorite eco-hero, and adults only learned the truth years later through interviews. It's strange to imagine Captain Planet with Tom Cruise's voice, but it almost happened. And if you think that's surprising, wait until you hear how real-world activism shaped the show's stories. Fact 14. Every episode ended with a mini activism lesson.
Captain Planet.
And we're Planeteers.
You can be a Planeteer too, by helping to make our world a better place to live.
Kids remember the action, the villains, and the glowing rings, but many forget that every episode ended with a direct message called a Planeteer alert. These short segments broke the fourth wall and taught viewers what the episode's issue meant in real life. Sometimes it was recycling, sometimes water safety, sometimes something heavier like drug use or prejudice. The cast talked directly to the audience, showing small things kids could do at home or in their towns. It was like a tiny classroom lesson inside a superhero cartoon, and most children didn't realize how much they were learning while watching. The show blended entertainment with education in a way few cartoons attempted. And the next group of villains made that message even louder. Fact 15. The Slaughters were a villain. Family built around poaching?
Free. That's the fair way.
Among the strangest villains the Planeteers ever faced was a full family of wildlife poachers called the Slaughters. Their names alone, Maim Slaughter and Stalker Slaughter, told you exactly what they were about. Every episode with them highlighted illegal hunting, endangered species, and the damage caused by selling animal parts for profit. Kids saw exaggerated bad guys, but adults now see how sharply the writers focused on real environmental crimes. The family was loud, messy, and often funny, but their actions carried serious consequences in the story. By using a family instead of a single villain, the show showed how harmful habits can pass from one generation to another. And the next fact reveals an even more personal twist inside another villain's life. Fact 16, Hoggish Greedley's family forced him to change.
Who are you and what do you want?
Kids saw Hoggish Greedley as a loud, pig-faced villain who cared only about money and overconsumption, but the show gave him something rare for a cartoon bad guy, a real family. In one story, his young son got sick because of the pollution Greedley caused, forcing him to face the damage he had done. Later, his own grandfather appeared as a reformed conservationist who tried to guide him toward better choices. These episodes showed Greedley battling between greed and guilt, something children didn't fully understand at the time. Adults now see how unusual it was for a villain to grow, struggle, and even team up with the heroes when family was at risk. And the next fact takes the show's eco-friendly rules to a surprising place. Fact 17! The toy companies had to go green too.
I paid you, but won't bring home the bacon.
Our village does not want your bacon, Mr. Greedley.
Most kids begged their parents for Captain Planet toys without knowing what happened behind the scenes. When companies tried to mass-produce the figures and vehicles, the show's creators insisted on something unheard of in the early 90s. The toys had to be made with recycled and recyclable materials. That meant factories had to adjust their methods, redesign packaging, and follow new rules just to keep the license. It was one of the first times a children's cartoon pushed real-world companies to follow the values shown on screen. Kids only saw a fun toy on the shelf, but adults now realize how groundbreaking that requirement was. It blurred the line between entertainment and activism. And the next fact reveals how real people inspired the heroes themselves. Fact 18. The Planeteers were based on real environmental activists.
People upstream dump waste into rivers and lakes without thinking about the people downstream.
Many children thought the Planeteers were just fictional characters with magic rings, but several were inspired by real-life environmental leaders. Mati reflected the courage of Paulinho Payakan, an indigenous defender of the Brazilian rainforest. Guy drew from Chi Yok Ling, a Malaysian activist known for speaking out on global environmental justice. Even parts of Linka's personality came from Petra Kelly, a co-founder of the German Green Party. The show didn't just create heroes, it honored real people fighting for the planet long before the cartoon existed. Kids never caught these connections, but adults today see how the creators blended fantasy with real-world activism. And the next fact brings this global team right back home to an unexpected place on the map. Fact 19 Hope Island was quietly placed near the Bahamas.
What went down on that street?
What went down, Wheeler, was people's self-respect. They no longer care about their neighborhood or themselves.
Most kids imagined Hope Island as a magical location, far away from everything, surrounded by mystery and glowing energy. But in interviews, the creators revealed that the island was meant to sit just off the Bahamas, not in a hidden realm or distant ocean. That means the Planeteers' headquarters was basically in the same waters people visit on vacations. The idea made their world feel more connected to reality, even if the show never explained it directly. Viewers were supposed to believe Gaia was watching over us from a place that actually exists on a map. Children never questioned it, but adults now enjoy spotting those real-world clues. And the next fact brings Captain Planet all the way into modern animation. Fact 20 Captain Planet returned in a modern cartoon crossover.
Fire!
Wind!
Kids from the 90s grew up thinking Captain Planet belonged to their generation alone, but years later he made a surprising comeback in a completely different show. In a special episode of a modern action comedy series, Captain Planet reappeared with his original voice and even teamed up with a new group of young heroes. The crossover blended old-school environmental messages with fast, modern humor, introducing the blue hero to an entirely new audience. It proved that the character still mattered, even decades after his debut. Many longtime fans were shocked to see him animated again after so long. And the next fact shows how the show's mission lasted far beyond television. Fact 21. The show was built as Activism first.
Required
We
animal.
mustn't plunder our planet.
The power is yours!
Not merch. Most kids thought Captain Planet was just another fun cartoon with bright colors, cool powers, and a catchy theme song. But behind the scenes, the creators had a very different goal. Ted Turner and Barbara Pyle designed the entire show to build an environmentally aware generation, not to chase toy sales or ratings. Every episode was shaped around a real issue, and writers were encouraged to teach something meaningful without turning the story into a lecture. They wanted children to understand recycling, pollution, wildlife protection, and climate change long before those topics became common in classrooms. The show's creators even met with environmental groups to keep stories accurate. Kids only saw adventure, but adults now notice the purpose guiding every episode. And the next fact proves that mission never stopped. Fact 22. The series ran more than 100 episodes worldwide. When kids watched Captain Planet after school or on weekend mornings, they never realized the show stretched far beyond their local TV station. Between the original series and its follow-up, the franchise produced more than 100 episodes and aired in over 100 countries. For a show built around environmental lessons, that kind of reach was rare. Some viewers saw it dubbed into languages their parents spoke at home, while others caught reruns years later. The show's long run helped it stay alive in childhood memories long after newer cartoons arrived. Its global success proved that the themes were universal, not just for one region. And the next fact shows how that reach turned into something even more lasting. Fact 23. The Captain Planet Foundation still exists today. Most children turned off the TV after the credits without knowing something bigger was happening in the real world. Part of the show's profits went into creating the Captain Planet Foundation, a charity that still supports environmental projects for students and schools today. The foundation funds gardens, science programs, community cleanups, and conservation work led by kids and teens. It grew into a real-world force that reflects the show's message: young people can make a difference. Many former viewers are shocked to learn that the cartoon they watched in the early 90s helped launch an organization that continues to shape environmental education decades later. And the next fact shows how the show even changed the way home video packaging was made. Fact 24. Even the DVD packaging was designed to be eco-friendly. When the first season finally came to home video, the creators made sure the message of the show carried into the packaging itself. Instead of using the usual glossy boxes, the release was printed on recycled paper and advertised as being more environmentally friendly than standard DVD cases. It was a small detail, but it showed how committed the brand remained to its original values. Fans buying the set were holding a piece of the show's philosophy in their hands, not just another plastic case on a shelf. Kids who watched the series never expected the eco message to follow it decades later, even into the way it was sold. And the next fact takes Captain Planet into the world of comic books in a surprising way. Fact 25. A Marvel comic featured a parody of a classic superhero cover. Long before superhero movies dominated theaters, Captain Planet stepped into the comic world through a special series published by Marvel. One issue even parodied the famous first cover of the Fantastic Four, placing the Planeteers in the exact same heroic layout. It was a fun way to blend environmental storytelling with traditional comic style, giving fans a new way to follow their favorite characters. Kids who picked up the comic likely never recognized the tribute, but adults today instantly see the nod to comic history. The series showed that Captain Planet wasn't just a TV character, he had a place alongside other heroes in print. And the next fact pulls the character even further into modern pop culture. Fact 26, Captain Planet kept returning through new media and events. Most kids thought Captain Planet disappeared when the cartoon ended, but the character quietly stayed alive through special projects, reruns, charity events, and environmental campaigns around the world. The creators used him for school programs, public service messages, and even live appearances to motivate young activists. His name showed up in classroom materials, Earth Day celebrations, and online videos long before nostalgia brought him back into mainstream conversations. Fans who grew up with the show later found entire communities built around Planeteer ideals, sharing stories and memories from their childhood. Captain Planet became more than a cartoon hero. He became a symbol for environmental action that survived long after the series stopped airing. And the next fact proves his legacy keeps growing in new ways. Fact 27, a new comic series launched decades later. Years after the original show ended, interest in Captain Planet returned strongly enough to spark a brand new comic series. This time, the tone was updated for older fans who grew up with the show, mixing nostalgia with modern environmental issues. The comic introduced fresh artwork, deeper character moments, and new twists that pushed the story into the present day. Readers were excited to see the Planeteers reimagined for a world dealing with climate challenges the 90s never predicted. Kids who watched the original cartoon would never expect it to return in comic shops decades later, but that revival showed the franchise still had something meaningful to say. And the fact 28, a live-action Captain Planet project entered development. For years, fans joked about seeing Captain Planet in a movie, but then something surprising happened. A live-action project actually went into development. Big names from Hollywood, including producers known for major superhero films, became attached to the idea. The goal was to reintroduce Captain Planet with a modern edge, mixing humor, real-world issues, and a deeper look at the Planeteers as adults. Many longtime viewers were shocked that studios finally took the character seriously enough to bring him into live action. Even though details changed over time, the project proved Captain Planet still had the power to attract major talent. And if that wasn't surprising enough, the next fact shows how the show once stirred real-life political reactions. Fact 29, the show was once criticized as too political. While most kids saw Captain Planet as an exciting adventure show, some adults at the time claimed it was pushing political ideas. Certain commentators argued that teaching children about pollution, climate issues, or corporate greed was too bold for a cartoon. What they didn't realize is that the creators wanted environmental protection to feel universal, not tied to any political side. They believed every child deserved to understand the world they lived in. Looking back today, those criticisms seem strange, because the topics the show covered are common in classrooms and news stories. The debate only made the cartoon more memorable. And the final fact explains why the show remains special to so many adults today. Fact 30. The show shaped an entire generation's values. Many adults who grew up watching Captain Planet say the show influenced how they think about the environment, even now. The simple lessons about recycling, respecting nature, and helping others stuck with viewers long after childhood. Teachers, park rangers, environmental scientists, and volunteers often mention the cartoon as one of their early inspirations. It wasn't just entertainment, it helped kids feel like they had power to make a difference, even in small ways. Today, those same fans share the show with their own families, keeping its message alive. Captain Planet became more than a series. It became a memory that shaped actions in the real world. And with that, your countdown of the strangest secrets is complete. And there you have it, 30 of the strangest, boldest, and most surprising secrets hidden inside Captain Planet. It's wild how much this show actually tried to teach us even when we were too young to notice. Some moments were dark, some were clever, and some were far ahead of their time. But all of them show why this cartoon still sticks with us today. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to check out the other forgotten classics we've uncovered, because the next story on our list is even stranger than this one.